Lord, there's the match winner. Jamaica's going to book their ticket through, and it's Osborne, affectionately known as the Barbarian, who gets the winner for Jamaica. And heartbreak for Guyana. They are strewn over the field here. It really came down to who had possession last, Gavin, and it was Jamaica.
I've never seen a game so end-to-end in my life.
And Jamaica, they have booked their ticket to the World Cup in San Francisco next year. Hong Kong and the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast in Australia, and they celebrate appropriately.
I think the stereotype for Jamaica will be that we'll be full of pace, and we've got pace in the team, but it's not something that we would absolutely rely on. And my style, which the players are bought into and are taken on board very well, and is emerging in our style of play, is very much one of structure. And so our team structures have come together really nicely in our preparation for Hong Kong and the Commonwealth Games, and the boys are playing really well in that regard.
We've gone from a side that had the natural things that Jamaicans do. If you watch the athletics, we've got raw speed, aggression, and power, and we've always had that. And I think that the players in the UK and the players in Jamaica will always have that. I think from there we've now progressed, mixing the UK players with the Iron-based players as well. We're a more wholesome team. We've got players out there who are very much the brains of the team. We've got players that are the athletes in the team, and we're very much more of a collective team that can do more things. We're not just a speed merchant, or we're not just a power game. We've got a lot more about us now.
Trying different things, seeing what worked, and I think now we've established a really strong game plan. We're playing it wide, we're spotting where's the best places to exploit, and from then on we're just using them.
Started about 2.5 years ago, where we didn't even have our own kit, didn't have any water bottles, so it's great to see sort of us progressing and building momentum. And to last year qualify for the Commonwealth Games, the World Cup, Hong Kong, it's sort of, we're building on the platforms that we set every year. So yeah, it's looking really good and it's exciting.
I was watching from the comfort of my home, them win that competition, which was great. I think my favourite moment was watching people like Daniil, who has come leaps and bounds. He's a big unit, Daniil, and watching him play in that tournament to me was quite satisfying.
My own style of play is just run hard. Run hard and make sure I give my team some good yardage. Mexico in general was just one mad experience, just because it was a good level of rugby internationally, and my first experience was, I mean, more than I can wish for.
Also Marcus Webber, he made some outstanding try-saving tackles, and he's got a big engine on him as well.
I'd say the semi-final was very good. We played Mexico in front of quite a big home crowd, a lot of very noisy supporters. They expected to win and they were favourites going into it, but we really dug deep, and I think the fact that the home crowd were almost supporting us by the end showed that they appreciated the hard work.
Playing Mexico in front of their crowd was probably one of the kind of the best, or the most nervous and the most kind of pressure I've felt playing rugby, which was a good thing.
Favourite game is probably just the Guyana one. I mean, that's when it's one score, and we're into Commonwealth and Hong Kong.
I didn't know how much time was left on the clock. Nobody did. So if you watch the video, I sort of look around, put it down, give the ball to Marcus, and we're kind of just looking around and seeing what's happened. Didn't want to cheer because I wasn't sure what the score was, and then the referee blew the whistle, and then I think I just fell on the floor and just couldn't believe it.
You realise you're part of something much bigger, as I always have, I think. I think in any team you play for, it's the boys that you play with, you develop the bond with, and it's sort of, you know what you've achieved and how, as in for the country that you're playing for. Obviously I'm very proud to represent Jamaica, so it's just, you know, I'm just happy with the boys and happy that we were able to do it.
Jamaica Rugby is run from Jamaica itself, and you know, the communication, because of the distance, and making sure that what they're saying is communicated to the guys correctly, and we're understanding that. So we're on the case as well with Jamaica to the players. But it's been a challenge, but I think we're there now. You know, the boys are leaving in a few weeks' time.
I really see awareness has risen over the last 2 months or so, and so we have now strong leadership across the whole team and across the field, and that's what you need as well, is when the fatigue sets in very early on in the game, that you have strong leadership and strong personalities to call on to see you through the game.
I think my role has changed a lot, and I'm more just a captain on the field. I speak when I need to, just try to be vocal. I think beforehand, when we're in our infancy, it was a little bit more difficult. I was trying to help facilitate, do administration, organise trainings and things like that. And obviously now we've got a UK management team that's growing and is getting real strong and on the ball, and back in Jamaica as well. So it just means that I don't have to do those things.
Finally, with regards to the Commonwealth Games itself, who are you most looking forward to playing?
England.
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 A try against England will be an absolute fantastic achievement, and we've got the skill set, I think, to actually, you know, just take the edge off a couple of teams out there.
I think if you're going to go into these big competitions, you want to play all of those big teams, don't you? So I think we're really excited about it, and they all bring something different. Samoa are obviously renowned for being big, powerful, and England and Australia have been two of the best teams on the circuit for years. So I think we're just really excited, and just to match ourselves against some of the best teams in the world.
I think the last 2-3 years we've just gone from strength to strength, and it's been an exponential growth. We've gone from playing local tournaments once a year in terms of qualification to last year we had the World Cup, the Commonwealth Games, Pan American Games as well. So every year we're playing more tournaments, getting more experience. We've played, I think, 4 World Series teams now, and we're scoring every time. So I think we're just building and building, and I think the future's just getting bigger and brighter for us.
Shoulders, knees, toes, tropical sun. The key for me is the hydration in between games and the short snacks that we can have. Tropical sun is definitely the way it can help, and having the short snacks in between games, and that for us is vital.
It's an honour to represent Jamaica. You know, really proud to be doing it. So yeah, glad I've got the background to allow me to do it. We need so much support. You know, we have full-time jobs and we sort of pay a lot of stuff for ourselves. So the support that you guys give us, you know, means so much to us.
I think the last 2-3 years we've just gone from strength to...
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this amazing show, ABC Sports. I'm your host today, Paul Harrison. I'm the Community Brand Ambassador for Tropical Sun. I'm filling in today, so we're just going to have a real talk time, sharing about the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens, and we have some amazing guests today. Today we're really honoured to have Conan Osborne, who is the fly half rugby player for the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens. We also have Rochelle Smith, and she is the captain for the ladies UK Rugby Sevens. She's amazing, and she's going to share shortly with you. And to all those viewers out there, welcome to BENTV, and this is the program, the ABC Sports. And to my left is my colleague Sinem Jeffries, and Sinem is the brand manager for Tropical Sun. He's also going to be sharing a little bit about the brand Tropical Sun alongside with myself. And we're just going to talk about the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens. And I know you're probably out there saying, well, I never know Jamaicans play Rugby Sevens. I never know anything about Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens until it was brought to my attention. So stay tuned, because we're going to ask Conan right now to give us and share a few tips about the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens. Conan, what is Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens?
So it's, I mean, officially it's a feeder team to the international side. The international side play against other countries, as you'll have seen. We've gone as far as playing in the World Cup, the Commonwealth Games, Hong Kong Sevens, which is the biggest sevens tournament in the world.
Wow.
And the Jamaica UK side is basically made up of players who have Jamaican heritage, that were born in the UK, and have the ability to play on the international circuit. So it's a pathway to help develop the sport back home in Jamaica and here as well.
And Rochelle, you're the captain for the female Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens.
I am indeed.
How long have you been playing?
Playing rugby
Yes.
in total? Oh, that's a good question. I think it's about 6, 7 years. I started quite late, so yeah, about 6, 7 years.
Still a baby in the rugby world.
Yeah, getting on of it, but yeah, rugby terms.
And I know that you had a tournament the other day at the Middlesex tournament?
Middlesex Sevens, yeah.
Middlesex Sevens tournament. Was it two weeks ago?
Yeah.
How did you do in that?
It's probably our greatest achievement here to date, because when we play these tournaments, we don't just like to use players that have been capped internationally. We like to use it a bit of a developmental pathway.
Okay.
So we'll have players that have played on the international circuit, and we'll have some of the guys that are developing, aren't necessarily quite there yet, but have shown that potential. And we've been playing on the UK circuit for a couple of years now. We've made a couple of semi-finals, a couple of quarter-finals, but we'd never actually reached a final over here until this year. Whether it's the support of the tropical sun, I'll let you be the judge of that. But since you guys have come on board, we've just seen an exponential growth, and we made a final in our first tournament this year, but a semi-final, sorry, and we narrowly lost last play of the game. And then we followed it up with a win, and we won the Middlesex Sevens. So that was huge for us, and it was the first time we've won a tournament here.
I mean, today it's basically a Jamaica UK show. Because we're filling in for the host that's unable to attend today. So this is great. This is going to be our show, and we're going to be focusing on the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens. I mean, yes, I am the brand ambassador for Tropical Sun. I'm filling in 2 roles today, but I've got my colleague to my left. Sinem, let me ask you a question. So why did we, Tropical Sun, decide to sponsor Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens?
Well, obviously, I mean, one of the impressive things about the team is that they essentially have aspirations that are bigger, I could say, than even the Olympic qualifications, right? They're trying to make rugby big in Jamaica, give it another sport on top of athletics, and I guess it's pretty good at football, right, as well?
Yeah, cricket.
Yeah, cricket as well, so maybe a 4th sport for Jamaica to shine at. And if you think about the Jamaican skill set in terms of sprinting, it will translate pretty well into rugby, and that's why you see these guys play like a fast game. So just thought it was a good opportunity to show support in the right area, and it'd be something fun for us to work on, right? It's
I mean, definitely. I mean, we're gunning for you guys to win the 2020 Olympics because we know that you're off to the Caymans in July.
Yes, yeah, beginning of July, 5th and 6th, I think we're playing.
And so you qualify for the Caymans, and what happens?
So we've actually won that regional qualifier for the last 2 years in a row. If we were to win it again, then that's automatic qualification into the Olympics, which would be great. It is funny because a lot of the time people say, what are your dreams, what are your aspirations? And as I said, 5 years ago, it was a bit of a pipe dream to play in the Commonwealth Games or the World Cup. Almost just back of your head, that would be quite funny, wouldn't it? And then that quickly became a reality, and we realised actually we've got a shot at this. And then I think taking it outside of rugby, any athlete in the world wants to be an Olympian. Whichever sport it is, they want to be an Olympian. And again, now that dream is becoming fast a reality. So everyone's getting a little bit excited, thinking we've actually got a chance here. And you never know, in a few months' time, there could be boys with the classic Olympic rings on the inside of the arm.
Well, you know, I know that you have the largest European sports festival in Bournemouth, which is this weekend. I understand 30,000 people will be attending, and the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens and the Crocs ladies will be also playing. So how many games are you going to have on Saturday?
So the Crocs don't have a team for Bournemouth, but obviously we'll be there supporting the boys. Okay. And I think we'll be there with individual teams for the event.
So, Conan, how many games will you be playing on Saturday?
So we're in a group with 3 other teams on the Saturday. So depending on how well you do on that day, it progresses you to the Sunday, which is finals day, which is knockout rugby.
So these are the warm-ups, I guess, for
your
qualifiers?
Yeah, we're definitely using it as that. We're targeting it as an opportunity for us to fine-tune some of those things we've been putting into practice and training. This competition has some of the best teams across Europe playing in it, so it's a real opportunity to really test our skills against.
Do you ever get nervous? Because, I mean, there's 30,000 people attending, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually played Bournemouth a few times, not with Jamaica. My team that I usually play for is actually in our group, so it'll be interesting going against them. I think it changes now. I think the more we get the opportunities to play in these big competitions, especially internationally, you lose that fear of playing in front of people, and it's more, this is not a chance to show people what we've got, and you don't want to let yourselves down, knowing that we are good enough, and we want to show that to the world. So, yeah, it's not the fear of playing in front of people. It's just making sure that people can see what we're about, what we can do.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, I'm really pleased and thankful that, you know, Tropical Sun has come on board to support such an amazing team. Because I can tell you this, that we had a launch 2 weeks ago at the office, and we had an opportunity. We had this amazing chef, and he served ackee, kalaloo, which was a breakfast launch. And Conan, I never know you guys could eat so much, because these guys tucked into that ackee. What did you think of the ackee?
Well, we were trying to be polite at first because there was a lot of guests and you let us go first. So we kind of took a reasonable amount, and as soon as we saw everyone had eaten, we were straight back in the kitchen for a bit more.
It was quite funny because the Mayor of Culture for Waltham Forest, who was Councillor Sally Littlejohn, she was just an excellent mayor. She's an excellent mayor. She's a great host, and she gave an announcement or a speech just to say that, you know, she was really proud to be at that launch, and she supports other initiatives for young people. You know, when you see that you guys are well-travelled, because I do understand that you've been to other countries. What other countries have you been to?
So obviously we're going to Cayman, and that was my first ever competition. Since then, I've got to rack my brains now. I think
Hong Kong?
Hong Kong 3 times, Mexico City twice, Barbados, the Gold Coast in Australia, San Francisco,
Trinidad, didn't you?
Trinidad as well. We went to North Carolina in the States.
Wow.
So
you know you're going to have a lot of people out there saying, I want to be involved in the Rugby Sevens. So let me ask you a question. How does one qualify to be a part of the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens?
So I think when we first started, we just wanted people to play, and you didn't have to qualify because we just wanted to get the brand out there, the name out there. But now there is a prerequisite. You've got to be, a minimum, one of your grandparents has to be born on the island, because that is what qualifies you for citizenship.
Okay.
So when you play in the competitions like the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, they don't let you play unless you've got a passport. So a lot of us have had to go and really dig into our grandparents, who back then I saw my grandparents' birth certificate.
Wow.
It's a piece of scrap paper almost, saying a name, and you've got to make that link all the way through enough to get you a passport.
You have to get a Jamaican passport.
Yeah, so for the
you
Olympics,
now all have one. Everyone in that team now has one.
That's a prerequisite. So some of the boys that will be playing in Bournemouth, who are the developmental players that haven't played on the international side yet, in the background the management will be saying to them, look, you've got to set the ball rolling to get your passport, because if you don't get it, even if you're good enough, you can't play. So
that's great.
It gets us in touch with our...
I've always wanted to be a part of, you know, working alongside international companies. I love travelling, and, you know, for me to work with the World Food brand, Tropical Sun, a Jamaica distributor for international foods, it gave me an opportunity to travel. And, you know, when I first, and I share this with you, I'm sure that you must have known that on the criteria or some of the engagements for Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens, that you would have to go to Jamaica. Well, last year, in, was it October?
September, October, yeah.
September, October, we went to Jamaica. But we didn't go to play rugby. We actually have a factory in Central Village, food factory, which is in St. Catherine's. and there is a school that we always support, and I know they have many fields out there. But you know what? I can't remember ever seeing a rugby pitch. Did you?
No rugby pitches, man.
No, we didn't see a rugby pitch.
I don't think there's a single one in Jamaica. Is that right?
Rochelle could probably point you in the direction for that. This is her favourite question.
There is not a single full-size rugby pitch in Jamaica.
Is it? Because when we were there, I mean, I know Jose Marti Technical High School, White Mile Primary School, which we work at, you know, alongside in a sponsorship deal, which we did a great project out there. But I remember seeing them, we were doing that tour and we were just talking about seeing lots of football pitches.
Oh yeah, football, and they had, even in the junior school in the tiny courtyard, they had a sprint track.
That's right.
But yeah, rugby isn't built into the kind of the infrastructure just yet, but hopefully in time. I mean, the pitches are different to the football pitches, right? Are they wider, a rugby pitch?
Yeah, and
wider?
And the lengths are different, and the grass length's got to be different because it's got to be safer, so they've got to be a little bit longer. Obviously, they probably don't go down to that finer detail. They just, those guys out there, they just want to get out and play, and they play any code. So rugby union, rugby league, rugby sevens, anything that they can do rugby related, the guys that are involved in it, they'll get involved. And it's quite funny that you mentioned a rugby pitch, actually, because a few of us went out in January for it was the RGR Gleaner Sports Man and Women Awards.
Right.
And when we were over there at the same time, they hosted the national sevens competition. So all of the local teams were playing against each other. There were the tiny tots. So there was kids as young as 4 and 5, which is what we're trying to make happen. By trying to promote this sport, we want the kids of 4 and 5 playing. There was a women's comp at the same time, and they played it at Sabina Park, which is the famous cricket ground in Kingston. So it was from the support of the Olympic Association, because of the recognition we've got. They allowed us and they helped set it up, and they hosted the first ever rugby tournament at Sabina Park, which is a huge 40,000 seater stadium, which was incredible. So I think with more things like this and getting the name out there, more support, more funding, more acknowledgement, that could be something that happens more often. And when kids can see that they've got the opportunity to play at Sabina Park, that's massive.
Well, you guys are true role models, because I know that at the launch we had Dr. Kaysen Trope, the Chief Education Officer from Jamaica. She came down. We were sharing with her that, you know, it is a goal of ours to have the Jamaica rugby team to go into one of the schools and to work with some of the children out there. So, I mean, just as a project within itself, is it something that you engage with some of the youngsters? Yeah, and do you know what? We try and do it not just in Jamaica as well. So whenever we have these regional competitions, last time we were in Barbados last year, both the female team and the male team, we went and engaged with a primary school, and we went and spent an afternoon with them and threw a rugby ball around and sort of told them about the values that are involved with playing rugby. One of the initiatives that they've kicked off is something called Rugby Against Violence. Okay. And it's to get those young adults, teenagers, adolescents off the street and playing rugby, because it's a sport where you can channel your aggression. If somebody's in your way, you can bump them off legally. So channel that aggression, use your speed, use your power, and by the end of a training session, by the end of the day, these kids don't have time or the energy to be hanging out on street corners.
Yeah, rugby is tiring. Rugby is a tiring sport. It takes a lot of dedication.
And they're seeing some success from that. So they're seeing guys that were probably going down the wrong path, and girls, and have taken up rugby, and it's pushing them in the right direction.
Well, you know what, I do hope there's so many young people out there is tuning in to this ABC Sports programme. We're standing in because the host is not here, but we're here today. You know what, I think that the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens, you guys are true ambassadors. I mean, you're professional, I mean, but also you have secular jobs. I mean, how do you manage the two?
With difficulty, with great difficulty. Yeah, some people are students, some people are self-employed, PTs, and then I think behind you you'll see the city, and some people work in the city as well. So you're managing full-time jobs with a fitness program and trying to get everything else in at the same time.
Okay, we're just going to take a couple of minutes break.
I think the last 2-3 years we've just gone from strength to strength, and it's been an exponential growth. We've gone from playing local tournaments once a year in terms of qualification to last year we had the World Cup, Commonwealth Games, Pan American Games as well. So every year we're playing more tournaments, getting more experience. We've played, I think, 4 World Series teams now, and we're scoring every time. So I think we're just building and building, and I think the future's just getting bigger and brighter for us.
Shoulders, knees, toes, top of the sack.
The key for me is the hydration in between games and the short snacks that we can have. Tropical sun is definitely the way it can help, and having the short snacks in between games, and that for us is vital.
It's an honour to represent Jamaica. You know, really proud to be doing it. So yeah, glad I've got the background to allow me to do it. We need so much support. You know, we have full-time jobs and we sort of pay a lot of stuff of us for ourselves. So the support that you guys give us, you know, means so much to us.
Welcome to the ABC Sports. I'm your host today, Paul Harrison. Today is a Jamaica-UK rugby programme. It's all about Jamaica-UK rugby. And you know what's so amazing is that I'm a dual role today because I'm the community brand ambassador, and also to my left is our brand manager, Sinem Jeffries, who's here. And also we have a beautiful lady. Yes, beautiful ladies play rugby, which is a Jamaica-UK rugby player. And her name is Rochelle Smith. Rochelle, you're so beautiful.
You're very kind.
Yeah. So when you play rugby, do you make sure your hair is all
Well, I had
tight?
a bit of an incident last weekend in one of my games. I normally wear false lashes all the time, and one of my tackles took off most of my lashes, which is probably the worst thing that's happened in a game in a while.
Well, I tell you what, don't forget the Afro Hair Show is on this weekend. And I know Tropical Sun, we've sponsored the Afro Hair Show. And I believe that you're having a makeover. She's having a makeover.
You're shaving your head, aren't you?
Shut up.
She doesn't know yet.
Yeah, come on.
That's the plan.
Let's be nice.
Can we not?
So, you know, how do you juggle the two? Because I understand you're a school teacher?
I run a gymnastics club.
Okay,
a community-based gymnastics club.
Oh, nice.
So you juggle the two because
Yeah.
is it your focus to become a professional player?
It's obviously my job it's kind of like a balance between the two, because obviously being able to represent the country is an amazing opportunity, which I'll leap at any stage. But at the same time, what I do outside also weighs quite heavily as well, because we do a lot of community stuff.
Okay.
In and around schools, and then sessions in the afternoon for the local kids. So it's a balance.
And I know that Councillor Kate Analu, who's the mayor for Enfield, she took a shine to you at the launch because she said you live in Enfield and she is the mayor for Enfield. So I think she's going to use you as part of her ambassadorial team for young people.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, it's amazing the work that the Jamaica UK rugby team are doing. I know the nickname or the name that they call you is the Crocs, Lady Crocs and the Men Crocs. Where did this Crocs name come from?
I think it's been around for years. Everybody thinks that this rugby malarkey is new. I think the Jamaica Rugby Football Union has been around since the 60s maybe. Obviously going back to colonial times, there was obviously people that went over that had a rugby background and helped set up this rugby union, and from then there's always been players playing. But I think to step up to the next level, Jamaica had to open their doors to the diaspora, because there's lots of people out there in the USA, Canada, here especially with the Windrush, that sent a lot of Jamaicans into the wider world. And so I think once they opened their eyes to the fact that there was lots of people that really wanted to represent the country, and especially from a country like England where we've been playing since the age of 5, 4, 6 years old, that we had a lot to offer. And I think we've taken the opportunity, and we're immensely proud, and we've helped grow the sport, and that's the main goal. Obviously we get to do the glory things of playing at a World Cup, at a Commonwealth Games, but there is that bigger dream of trying to, like Sinem said earlier, to get rugby a core sport in Jamaica.
Well, is it fair to say that you're you are the Olympic bobsled equivalent within rugby.
Cool runnings on grass.
Cool runnings on grass. Yeah. Oh, that's a much more snappy title than the one I had going.
He's been working on that.
Yeah, the media tried to jump on that one quite a lot. But it's good though, because the public, people that aren't Jamaican or don't have any roots in Jamaica, it's something that they can grab onto. It was one of the biggest, most popular films. Came out when I was born, 93.
Yeah. People might notice that you don't have Jamaican accents. Maybe it might be lost on them as to what's the relationship, but why is that, and how
does that work? You're going to ask me to do it.
No, I wasn't.
Thank you.
You can if you want.
No. Maybe after the show. Myself, both my grandparents were born there, and my father's eldest two siblings were born there, so he was the first to be born here once they came over in the 60s. So I guess that makes me, third generation, and that's the least you can be to play for the international side. Right. So you have to have a grandparent as a very minimum that was born on the island in order to qualify for. So
since you won those 6 games, rumours have it was that coconut water that was given to you by Tropical Sun that gave you that extra energy. So what's so nutritious about the coconut water, Sinem?
Oh man, well I know I'm no expert. I know a little bit about it, but I do know that it's particularly good for hydration. I think it beats water in a kind of a like-for-like comparison in terms of hydrating, and it tastes nice. So I mean, you've obviously got to drink water as well. Yeah. But it's certainly a lot of athletes like it. In yoga classes, people drink it a lot, and gymnastics and all other kinds of stuff. And I guess it's actually nutrition's got to be a huge part of what you guys do. I mean, what do you guys eat?
You've got to eat clean
diet?
In the build-up to a tournament, especially. You just got to watch what you put into your body. Right. It's going to have a massive effect on your performance.
You guys cook yourselves, or?
Not very well.
No. It's still time.
I think with reference to the coconut water, especially, is there's a lot of natural sugars, and during tournament days, before we had the coconut water, obviously people would be drinking waters and they put different powders into their drinks to try and get that nutrition in there, which that has already. And you'll see people stuffing their face with Haribos in between games to try and get those sugar levels up.
Call it carb loading, right?
Well, yeah, and glucose as well. So I think it's good to have that in the drinks as well, and you're not forcing sweets down you, which it's the natural sugars which is good for you. But yeah, nutrition-wise, I think now we've come on leaps and bounds. We've got an S&C coach, a guy called Stu, who's great, and I mean he's talking to us in the mornings, asking us what our sleep quality was like between 1 and 10, how many hours we had, what our weight was the moment we woke up to when we go to bed, so they can, because you lose a lot of water on tournament days. So when we were in Hong Kong, some players were losing as much as 3 or 4 kilos in a day. Damn. So keeping your nutrition levels up and drinking water over and over again is you just get bored of it. So having something different like the coconut water is great.
And if you're just tuning in now, you're watching the ABC Sports, and this is amazing because today we have 2 amazing guests here, which is Conan and Rochelle, and they're telling us about the Jamaica-UK Rugby Sevens, and I'm hoping that they'll have details on the screen where you'll be able to get further information about the Jamaica-UK Rugby Sevens. Now, do you know what's so amazing is that I actually experienced watching these guys play. I mean, my colleague here, Sim, and I, we were watching the energy coming out of these guys, and I don't know where you guys get it from, because it's not a full-time job because you already have other secular jobs, but the goal is to become full-time as a professional player. Is that the goal?
Yeah, and I think the goal was a little bit bigger than that, because some of the players had done all their age group and youth stuff with England and had the opportunity to become one of another number that's played for England. And I think we kind of sold the dream a little bit differently. Like, we have an opportunity here to do something massive. Like, we were the first Caribbean side to ever play in a World Cup. Wow. We were the first time Jamaica have played in a Commonwealth Games as a rugby outfit. We won a bronze medal in the CAC Games. So these are landmark moments and events, whereas some of the boys had the opportunity to go and play for England, but you just become one other player in a long list of players that have played for England a few times. So it was being part of a bigger dream and having these landmark events. And like I said before, it was giving kids in Jamaica different role models and a different sport to put their minds at, because there's only a X amount of sprint contracts. There's only a certain amount of players that become professional footballers. So it was giving them another pathway in which they could express themselves. And it all just came into kind of one package that we all believed in.
Well, I must say the whole organisation is very professional. Houghton, the manager for Houghton Campbell, the manager for Jamaica UK Rugby 7, is an amazing guy, and I'm just so glad that we're able to liaise with him. And we're glad that we're part of a winning team. You know, we as a company see ourselves as winners, and we're, as you already said, we're a world food brand. We personally have won 19, our company's won 19 great awards, food awards since 2009. And I'm sure that, you know, we're passing on the baton to you guys, because we know you're going to win many more awards. You know, part of our awards, or one of them that I'm never going to forget, because the jerk seasoning, the Scotch bonnet sauce, the guava jam, and the hot pepper sauce.
That Scotch bonnet sauce is hot.
You guys were pouring on that hot pepper sauce.
That's good though. It's very good.
I mean, it spices up the food. I mean, it gives it some, you know, it gives it a kick. But I tell you what, Sinan, you have so much pepper sauce on your food.
Yeah, I was brought up with pepper sauce. You got to put it on everything.
I mean, I'm glad
I'm a glutton.
He had to work for an international company. He couldn't work for nobody else. But
I just do it for the
brand.
free. I do it for the free sauce. If I'm
that's how they pay you, isn't it?
Yeah, no way.
But as I said before, you know, you guys are true ambassadors for the sport that you do, and representing the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens. There's so much negativity out there, and it's so good that, you know, we can see great role models, and just to see the way how you guys operate.
I think for us as players to see a company of your size come on board and believe in what we've been working on for the last 4 or 5 years was massive. A few of us turned up to the launch that you put on for us, and couldn't believe the size of the warehouse, how big an operation it was. It was quite amazing to think, well, we've got the backing of something this large. We've had some small companies help us out in the past. A lovely lady from Jamaica, Patty Company, was one that tried to help us in the very beginnings, and that was amazing. And then to see it progress now to a food company of your size, whether it's testament to what we're doing on the field or the message that's going out there, I think it was great for the boys just to see your name on our shirts.
It does fit. You know, the good thing about it being Jamaica UK, obviously for us, is that the Tropical Sun is in large parts Jamaica and UK. The company started, I think, in 1996, bringing foods over from Jamaica and from certain African countries as well, because obviously we had the diaspora in the UK, and it was very hard to get certain foods, you know, because if they were coming over fresh on a boat, they would often perish because boats would get stopped. Boats actually coming out of the Caribbean get stopped quite a lot. And so, you know, Tropical Sun was one of a few companies to really kind of pioneer bringing these, like, how to kind of preserve some of these foods like ackee and jerk seasoning in the right ways, get all the right labeling on them and the recipes, you know, so that they're traditional, just like grandmas are making it in Jamaica, and get it over here. And that's a surprisingly hard process. I think we all take these things for granted with, you know, the foods we eat now. You can go out anywhere and just eat whatever you want. It's crazy, especially in London. And yeah, we forget how much work people put in, you know, like back in the day and stuff, but it's funny now to see what's going on with you guys as well.
The promo video that you guys showed us at the launch, as you said, I'm sure there'll be a banner at some stage pointing in
It'll be embarrassing if not. We just keep doing this.
But yeah, it was a bit of an insight into how...
Was that the ackee video?
Yeah. How you collect the ackee, how many local farmers there are involved in it. It was amazing to see the operation and how large it is. So you say back then you don't really think about how big an operation it is, but even now, and the fact that you guys are able to facilitate
well, you know,
that
this is not just about Tropical Sun. This is all about Jamaica UK Rugby 7, because, you know, We want people out there, the viewers that are listening and watching, to support the Jamaica UK Rugby 7. Get behind them. We want you to send us tweets. We want you to go on Facebook and big up the Jamaica UK Rugby 7. Even on our website page, if you go onto the blogs, you'll see the whole Aki video that Conan is speaking about. But, you know, we are a relationship company, and this is one of the reasons why we don't just sponsor you. We go to your games. You know, socially, we interact with you. We're a family. It's a family business. As Sinan was sharing with you, the founders started over 54 years ago. And for us, that's one of the reasons why, even when I went back to Jamaica, we went back to Jamaica last year to see the factory, talk to the workers, and just to hear their testimonials, which you'll see also on the video, you know, and some of those workers send their children to some of those schools, which I shared with you. It's about relationship. And I see the way how, you know, the Jamaica UK rugby team play, and also the way you react or contra-react with each other. I mean, it's like a family, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely grown that way as well, because, as I said, we're all pulling in the same direction for the same goals, and there's been challenges along the way. I'm not going to lie, there's been times where people have said, you know what, this is probably a bit too much, I can't commit all this time. And I think now it's just become a realisation where people have decided, look, we all want the same thing, and the only way we're going to get that is by doing it together. So I think that tournament that you came and watched, Paul, I think one of the things you'll have seen is there were some defensive lapses and there would be a breakdown, but somebody would work back, make the tackle, and you'd see 4 other players who were within that vicinity just working hard, and that wasn't something that we had before. And there is some sort of unity where it's come from. I couldn't pinpoint it, but there definitely has felt a change, and there is a bit of a family vibe around things.
Coming together.
Seems to be.
I think that's awesome. You know, the unity, as you say, the coming together. I mean, what would the world be like, you know, if we could just all come together, work together, show love together, and all of these out of many one is coming out of the motto of Jamaica. But, you know, just to see your achievement so far, because the game 2 weeks ago in Middlesex, you won 6 games, and the Lady Crocs, you won 4 games.
Yeah.
So I believe you guys are on a winning streak.
Well, it seems that way. So hopefully this weekend we can.
Let's not curse it. What's it?
Yeah,
Is it Kevin Keegan? Is it the Kevin Keegan curse? I can't remember in the World Cup where he was like, "There's only one team can win it now, and that's England." And literally after that,
steamrolled.
I think it was Romania or something scored against England. Yeah.
Well, there's anything about Jamaicans we know, where, you know, the jovial, you know, the love. So we definitely know you guys are just going to come home with that trophy. So 2020 Olympics is your goal. So we're so glad that Tropical Sun, we're a sponsor for the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens, and we're so glad that we got in there now. I mean, we believe in long term. This is, you know, we're not going to give up on these guys. We're going to stay behind you and support you. I know we supported you with a marquee, so that when you're playing, you've got somewhere. When you're not playing, you've got somewhere just to chill out.
Yeah.
How's the marquee?
Yeah, great. It's so good to have that bit of shelter. Then you can have the physio bed in there as well. You have a bit of privacy, and you're protected from the elements as well. Whether it's the sun
and your
or wind.
tops look just amazing. I mean, come on.
Nice.
I
Do you
love
want to get
those.
up and give the people a spin? Oh, you can't. Your microphone anyway. You're lucky.
And I know that some people out there are going to be saying, I want a rugby shirt like these. Don't worry. Log www.tropicalsunfoods.com. Look onto the website. Just watch that space. Sinan, what's happening with these rugby shirts?
So we're doing a competition. We've actually just done one, but I think we're going to be putting some more forward to win some of them. There's only under 100 that have been made in total, including the ones that these guys are wearing. So there'll be some opportunities to win them.
And behind you is that rugby ball. I mean, if the camera could just view in on that rugby ball behind Sinan.
I'm not sure if it can.
And it's been signed. So I want a rugby ball. How we get a rugby ball and it's signed?
I actually don't know the answer to this one, Paul, I'm afraid. But there will be opportunities through the Tropical Sun social media, the website. Oh, my face just swerved in a really strange way there. Yeah. So I mean, again, there's plenty of opportunities on our site to get hold of some Jamaica Rugby 7 merch, and I think the people are demanding it, so we're going to have to make some more, I believe. I think the team's going to have big support.
We're going to ask you to keep watching this space because the Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens will be playing in Bournemouth this weekend, and I know on the 1st of June they have another game, I believe is in Richmond, and then on the 22nd of June I'm going to be there. It's going to be Milton Keynes. So watch this space. We're going to put all the information on the website, and if you're out there, you want to sponsor Jamaica UK Rugby Sevens, look, we feel no way. It's all about the young people. We believe that the young people are the future for tomorrow. We want to get behind them. And also, even as a company, we sponsor many other organisations. Sinem, the one in Ghana, what was the name?
The Marfo Foundation, the Marfo Children Care Foundation.
Well, that was a great one. That was also young people. This lady that took in 17
adoptive children, yeah.
Wow. And
yeah.
And that was
all
truly,
by herself.
All by herself. We supported Sickle Cell, with Prison Link in Birmingham. Listen, to all our media partners, we want to give you a shout out. Thank you again to BENTV. I mean, my goodness, we need to get behind stations like this and support them. I'm so glad the host didn't show up today because this has been this has been a Jamaica UK rugby show.
They have a new host, I think.
Yeah, and I mean the AB Sports is a place to watch or to come to. And
get a weekly spot.
You have been a great chap. I mean, great, champion as the former captain and also the fly half. And the captain, Lady Crocs, to be here. Next time you come on this programme, we want you to bring the trophy.
Yes, we will.
Is that all right?
I'll bring it all.
And listen, when you're going back to Jamaica, me and Sinem, we were out there in October, so we want to come and support you guys in Jamaica. So we're going to work out some activities.
Absolutely, we'll be back.
So we're back in July.
You're there in July.
Oh, this July. Oh, wow.
Well, listen, our factory's out there in St. Catherine's, Central Food Packers. If you're there, Central Food Packers, we want to big up all those beautiful people. Hey, big mamas there, beautiful ladies and beautiful gentlemen. All you guys are amazing. I saw the hard work, how you pack the ackee, the callaloo. Oh my God, it's totally amazing. What about the Buster Sweets? Guys, we need to organise some Buster Sweets for you.
I'm excited.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
You know I love food. Jamaican people love food.
Yeah. True.
Hey, but don't forget, we're a world food brand. So it is my job to taste all the other dishes of the world. Jollof rice. Jollof. Listen, your turn will come. So please stay fit. You guys stay fit. More coconut water. And anything else you need, this is the brand manager next to you, so you email Sinem.
You can email me, no problem.
Send me some of those ackee fritters pre-made.
Yeah, I was actually cooking those this weekend. They are damn good. Yeah, they are really good.
Thank you once again for joining us. Watch this space. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Nice.
It's where you have to like.
I think the last 2-3 years we've just gone from strength to strength, and it's been an exponential growth. We've gone from playing local tournaments once a year in terms of qualification to last year we had the World Cup, the Commonwealth Games, Pan American Games as well. So every year we're playing more tournaments, getting more experience. We've played, I think, 4 World Series teams now, and we're scoring every time. So I think we're just building and building, and I think the future's just getting bigger and brighter for us.
Shoulders, knees, toes, top of the sack. The key for me is the hydration in between games and the short snacks that we can have. Tropical sun is definitely the way it can help, and having the short snacks in between games, and that for us is vital.
It's an honour to represent Jamaica. Really proud to be doing it. So glad I've got the background to allow me to do it. We need so much support. We have full-time jobs and we sort of pay a lot of stuff for ourselves. So the support that you guys give us, means so much to us.
Oh my Lord, there's the match winner. Jamaica's going to book their ticket through, and it's Osborne, affectionately known as the Barbarian, who gets the winner for Jamaica. And heartbreak for Guyana. They are strewn over the field here. It really came down to who had possession last, Gavin, and it was Jamaica.
I've never seen a game so end-to-end in my life.
And Jamaica, they have booked their ticket to the World Cup in San Francisco next year. Hong Kong and the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast in Australia, and they celebrate appropriately.
I think the stereotype for Jamaica will be that we'll be full of pace, and we've got pace in the team, but it's not something that we would absolutely rely on. And my style, which the players are bought into and are taken on board very well, and is emerging in our style of play, is very much one of structure. And so our team structures have come together really nicely in our preparation for Hong Kong and the Commonwealth Games, and the boys are playing really well in that regard.
We've gone from a side that had the natural things that Jamaicans do. If you watch the athletics, we've got raw speed, aggression, and power, and we've always had that. And I think that the players in the UK and the players in Jamaica will always have that. I think from there we've now progressed, mixing the UK players with the Iron-based players as well. We're a more wholesome team. We've got players out there who are very much the brains of the team. We've got players that are the athletes in the team, and we're very much more of a collective team that can do more things. We're not just a speed merchant, or we're not just a power game. We've got a lot more about us now.
Trying different things, seeing what worked, and I think now we've established a really strong game plan. We're playing it wide, we're spotting where's the best places to exploit, and from then on we're just using it.
Started about 2.5 years ago where we didn't even have our own kit, didn't have any water bottles, so it's great to see sort of us progressing and building momentum. And to last year qualify for Commonwealth Games, the World Cup, Hong Kong, it's sort of we're building on the platforms that we've set every year. So yeah, it's looking really good and it's exciting.
I was watching from the comfort of my home them win that competition, which was great. I think my favourite moment was watching people like Daniil, who has come leaps and bounds. He's a big unit, Daniil, and watching him play in that tournament to me was quite satisfying.
My own style of play is just run hard. Run hard and make sure I give my team some good yardage. Mexico in general was just one mad experience, just because it was a good level of rugby internationally, and my first experience was, more than I can wish for.
Also, Marcus Webber, he made some outstanding try-saving tackles, and he's got a big engine on him as well.
I'd say the semi-final was very good. We played Mexico in front of quite a big home crowd, a lot of very noisy supporters. They expected to win and they were favourites going into it, but we really dug deep, and I think the fact that the home crowd were almost supporting us by the end showed that they appreciated the hard work.
Playing Mexico in front of their crowd was probably one of the best, or the most nervous and the most kind of pressure I've felt playing rugby, which was a good thing.
Favourite game is probably just the Guyana one. That's when it's one score and we're into Commonwealth and Hong Kong.
I didn't know how much time was left on the clock. Nobody did. So if you watch the video, I sort of look around, put it down, give the ball to Marcus, and we're kind of just looking around and seeing what's happened. Didn't want to cheer because I wasn't sure what the score was, and then the referee blew the whistle, and then I think I just sort of fell on the floor and just couldn't believe it.
You realise you're part of something much bigger, as I always have, I think. I think in any team you play for, it's the boys that you play with, you develop the bond with, and it's sort of, you know what you've achieved and how, as in for the country that you're playing for. Obviously I'm very proud to represent Jamaica, so it's just, I'm just happy with the boys and happy that we were able to do it.
Jamaica rugby is run from Jamaica itself, and the communication, because of the distance, and making sure that what they're saying is communicated to the guys correctly, and we're understanding that. So we're on the case as well with Jamaica to the players, but it's been it's been a challenge, but I think we're there now. You know, the boys are leaving in a few weeks' time.
I really see awareness has risen over the last 2 months or so, and so we have now strong leadership across the whole team and across the field, and that's what you need as well, is when the fatigue sets in very early on in the game, that you have strong leadership and strong personalities to call on to see you through the game.
I think my role has changed a lot, and I'm more just a captain on the field. I speak when I need to, just try to be vocal. I think beforehand, when we're in our infancy, it was a little bit more difficult. I was trying to help facilitate, do administration, organise trainings and things like that. And obviously now we've got a UK management team that's growing and is getting real strong and on the ball, and back in Jamaica as well. So it just means that I don't have to do those things.
Finally, with regards to the Commonwealth Games itself, who are you most looking forward to playing?
England.
A try against England will be an absolute fantastic achievement, and we've got the skill set, I think, to actually, just take the edge off a couple of teams out there.
I think if you're going to go into these big competitions, you want to play all of those big teams, don't you? So I think we're really excited about it, and they all bring something different. Samoa are obviously renowned for being big, powerful, and England and Australia have been two of the best teams on the circuit for years. So I think we're just really excited, and just to match ourselves against some of the best teams in the world.
I think the last 2-3 years we've just gone from strength to strength, and it's been an exponential growth. We've gone from playing local tournaments once a year in terms of qualification to last year we had the World Cup, Commonwealth Games, Pan American Games as well. So every year we're playing more tournaments, getting more experience. We've played, I think, 4 World Series teams now, and we're scoring every time. So I think we're just building and building, and I think the future's just getting bigger and brighter for us.
Shoulders, knees, toes, tropical sun.
The key for me is the hydration in between games and the short snacks that we can have. Tropical sun is definitely the way it can help, and having the short snacks in between games, and that for us is vital.
It's an honour to represent Jamaica. Really proud to be doing it. So glad I've got the background to allow me to do it. We need so much support. We have full-time jobs, and we sort of pay a lot of stuff of us for ourselves. So the support that you guys give us, means so much to us.
One game. One game. One game. One game. One game. One game.
One game.
One game together.
What we've been doing for the past few days with the Jamaican Rugby League Association is giving some knowledge transfer. Well, the International Development Programme is a key part, like awareness raising, so as well as helping rugby league